Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Standard Chartered projects timeline for XRP ETF approval. Interesting. Okay guys, so let's discuss this. We've had the actual approval now of the Ethereum ETFs, which has obviously been a very big surprise to many of us because the SEC was so against crypto not so long ago. When the Bitcoin ETF did get approved, understand they did it begrudgingly. They didn't do it because they wanted to do it. They did it because they had to do it. They'd been sued by Grayscale and lost that lawsuit. So they was in a position where they couldn't keep dragging their feet any longer. And that's basically what they're doing with the whole crypto space. They're just trying to stagnate it as much as possible. They're just trying to cripple it for as long as they can. Now, eventually, as we're seeing, they're not going to be able to keep doing it forever. Eventually, they're going to have to yield and they're going to have to give up. But we are seeing now clearly that the tides are turning. And the reason why is because it's politically motivated. They're learning that this is affecting the political party by being so negative against crypto. And it's funny, how they realize this so late in the game, right? It just shows me how out of touch politicians really are. It's quite ridiculous, to be honest with you, because just imagine, all up until now, the SEC have been running rampant, doing everything they can to try and hinder crypto progress, right? And then we're literally getting to the point where the US are at the position of having an election year. And suddenly it's oh no, we need to be, more pro-crypto, change your stance, start doing more things that are pro-crypto. And it's look how late you've left this. And to me, this is where I start to see, not that we didn't see already, but it just shows you how disingenuous politics is. Because it's they're only doing this to get elected, right? And this is where part of my issue comes with this, because let's just say, for example, the Democrats do win another election year, right? What if they just change their stance again at that point? Do you see what I'm saying? What if it's a thing where they're okay, look, let's just play ball for the next few months because we've got this election year. Let's just look like we're being pro-crypto. And then once we get in, hey, you know what? At that point, we'll just go back to being negative again and we'll hinder it. Because at that point, we'll have a good 4 years to try and do what we want to do and just change again towards the last minute when it comes back to the re-election year. So I really do question if that's their mentality. Now, I'll be honest with you, I will just say this on the flip side. You've got the Republicans who could be pretty much doing the same thing. They might be acting all pro-crypto right now just to get their chance to get into the office. And then once they get in, they might be right, start stopping that stuff right now. Start hindering crypto as much as possible. So it could be a thing where they're both just playing the game in that regard. But it's just sad to see because you can just see how disingenuous this is and how false it is. But nonetheless, we're getting progress, right? And to me, again, it just showed you how hard of a time XRP has had because, this was at a time where Consensus was about to get sued, right? There was handed a Wells notice and it was looking like they was going to get sued. But how convenient that now, it's in the middle of an election year. They've now changed. And this now begs the question, is that going to happen now? Or are they going to have to kind of just move away from that now? Because this is going to affect them in the lawsuit anyway, because this now is kind of to a certain degree, given a certain level of clarity for them to give the approval for this. So it already looks a bit weird for them to sue them, but yet they've allowed a ETF to go through. So it's going to put them in a very difficult position when they're trying to make some of their legal arguments. And so, this just goes back to look at what we had to go through as, XRP holders. We didn't have that convenience of, the election year was just coming through and whatnot. This lawsuit that we've got right now, it's just on the time of being wrapped up. So they're not going to drop it at this point. They're just going to let it see to its end. And we've had to do the struggling, right? Whereas once again, Ethereum just manages to just sliver through and, get that adoption. And you see what I'm saying? They've just had such an easy ride. And, they paid to play. So it is what it is. We get why it's happened, but it just shows you the battle that we've had to go through as XRP holders. But look, life isn't fair. That's just the way it is, right? At the end of the day, I do think we've been unfairly damaged as holders. We've been unfairly targeted. What can we do? We have to deal with the cards that we've been dealt. But we've got here Standard Chartered, and they're giving a timeline for an XRP ETF approval now. So I've discussed this on another video. I'm not sure the timeline of which video is going to come first, but I'm going to get into this further and expand my thoughts. This is obviously great to see, like a huge institution like Standard Chartered. Now, one thing I will just say, like, does this mean that this timeline is going to be set in stone? No, I'm not going to say that that's the case, but this is a big institution. And, you know, when you've got people of this level of credibility and caliber speaking of things like this from these type of institutions, I think it says a lot, right? I think it does give a level of credence to what they're saying. So while it's not guaranteed, I definitely will take what they're saying, and I won't just take it at face value. I'll say, okay, well, this is a big institution saying this. So yes, it doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but I'd still say that's quite a big thing to say. And these institutions, they deal with legal stuff all the time, and they would have this kind of experience and knowledge to be able to give a thoughtful answer, one that's backed with experience and, first-hand knowledge. So I give this, some level of credibility, to be completely honest with you. So I'll expand my thoughts a little bit more at the end of the video, because there are some other points that I do want to add to this, but I want to go through the article first. So let's get into the article and then we can discuss this a little bit further. Godfrey Kendrick, a seasoned analyst at Standard Chartered, speculates that the highly anticipated XRP ETF could launch in 2025, a year from now. Following the approval of multiple spot-based Ethereum ETFs, there have been several speculations regarding when the SEC could approve a similar product for other crypto assets like XRP. XRP ETF could be approved in 2025. Interestingly, Standard Chartered analyst Godfrey Kendrick asserted that an ETF for XRP could be a 2025 story. This implies that Kendrick expects the SEC to approve an ETF for XRP next year. Kendrick, who is the current head of Forex and digital assets research at Standard Chartered, made this known in a statement making rounds on X. Notably, he expects the regulatory agency to also approve an ETF for Solana (SOL), the fifth biggest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. Like ETF, XRP isn't a security. The Standard Chartered expert dismissed concerns regarding the Ripple lawsuit impacting the potential approval of an XRP ETF. According to Kendrick, the approval of Ethereum ETFs suggests that the regulator does not consider ETH to be a security. He added that the decision also indicates that other altcoins akin to ETH that are currently under regulatory scrutiny, including XRP, will not also be categorized as securities. The Standard Chartered analyst contended that it would be difficult for the SEC to give the securities tag to XRP and other altcoins, whose core technologies are similar to Ethereum. Crypto now has bipartisan political support. Kendrick also commented on the significance of the pro-crypto FIT21 legislation, which saw 71 Democrats cross party lines to support it. According to him, the move suggests bipartisan political support for the crypto industry. Furthermore, the analyst projected that it is a matter of time before the US crypto industry sees more favourable regulatory changes. Ethereum ETF inflow could reach $45 billion in 12 months. Regarding the recently approved Ethereum ETFs, Kendrick projected that these products could register inflows to the tune of $15 billion to $45 billion in their first 12 months of trading. Notably, despite the SEC's approval, Ethereum spot ETFs have not commenced trading in the United States. This is because the SEC only approved exchanges 19B-4 filings for spot ETFs. However, the S1 filings for these funds are yet to be approved, with experts projecting that the regulator could delay its decision on the documents. Meanwhile, he projected that the price of ETH could spike to $8,000 by the year end. Kendrick's prediction marks a surge of 115.22% from the current price of $3,717. Okay guys, let's get into this. So, an XRP ETF by 2025. I mean, that would be absolutely amazing if that's the case. It really would. Do I think that that's going to happen? I'm in two minds about it, okay? And part of what I will say in regards to this is Gary Gensler going to be in office by 2025? Because we don't really know that right now at this stage, right? Like, it could be that Republicans win the election, and so Gary Gensler is thrown out, and we have a new chairman of the SEC. The question at that point, to be honest with you, is who is this person going to be if it is a Republican, right? And are they really going to be pro-crypto? Are they going to stick to their word? Because, you know, as I said earlier, the thing with politics is sometimes they'll just say what they want you to hear to get your support. It doesn't always mean they're going to stay true to their word. So for me, although I'm hearing all this pro-crypto stuff right now, the Democrats have proven to you that this is just a hot topic, and that's why they're flip-flopping on this. That's exactly why this is going on. Like, the way they've changed in literally the last month it's crazy. It's completely crazy, because it's completely contradicting everything that they've been saying and doing before this point for years now. So to me, this is what I don't like about politics, is the way they will just change things in hope that people will, you know, forget the past and suddenly just start supporting because, you know, they're doing things to appease people. But the problem is, we don't know what either side could do, right? It could be a thing where, you know, the Democrats just become completely pro-crypto now because they've seen the error of their ways. They can say, look, this is something that people are really interested in. It's something that they want. So you've really got to stay on this now. You can't just, you know, do this, get the votes and then change. On the other hand, who knows? They might just be like, yeah, we just want to stay in power. And once we've got that, we don't care. We'll just switch back. But that's the same for Republicans, right? They could be just doing this right now to get votes. They could be saying that they're going to be pro-crypto to get votes. And then once they're in, they could be completely against it. So this is the things that's going to make an impact on this. But let me stick to the matter at hand, because part of my answer comes down to, is Gary Gensler still going to be in office? Now, let me say this. If Gary Gensler is still in office, and let's just say hypothetically is, as this would be easier for me to explain what I want to say. Let's say that is the case. Okay, well, my point at that stage becomes, I do not know if he would approve a XRP ETF. And the reason I say this is, the Ripple just embarrassed them in the lawsuit. It's that simple, guys. Like, they won where it really mattered. They really did show the SEC up. They hindered, obviously, the crypto plan that they had in terms of just trying to cripple the industry by getting the security status of XRP. That was obviously going to be their big victory, but they could then basically hold up against the rest of the crypto space and start, you know, just suing many crypto companies, which, don't get me wrong, they still have been, you know, throwing out lawsuits and stuff, but they kind of got stopped in their tracks, right? Because what this meant was there was going to be courts that won't just agree with them for the sake of agreeing with them, right? Like, they are actually going to have battles here, and they are going to lose. Like, there are people who look at this from a fair perspective, from the eye of the law, and say, no, SEC, you guys are wrong here. Like, you are in the wrong, and we're not going to just let you get away with this just because you're a government agency. So I think they started to realize, oh, this isn't going to be as easy as we planned, and we've kind of been foiled now because of this loss. So it was a huge blow to them, and it was a huge blow to Gary Gensler's ego, right? Because it made him look foolish, which, you know, is very appropriate because he has been a fool the way he's been in the crypto space, to be honest with you. But yes, look, I think it's been a huge problem. And so do I think that the SEC are going to do Ripple any favors at this point? No. Right? Like, they lost the lawsuit. They look bad. I don't think Gary's going to want to help them in any way, shape or form. So that's what makes me think, would he really allow this to happen if he was still in office? However, I will say this on the other hand. The whole thing that's happened with Ethereum getting their ETF approved, we didn't think that was going to be likely, because the SEC actually handed out a Wells notice, which basically means like an intention to sue, to Consensus, who basically are Ethereum. They push Ethereum. So we're looking at this now as like, okay, so you guys have sent out a Wells notice. You've made it clear that you're intending to sue Ethereum via Consensus, but basically it's going to cripple Ethereum holders, obviously, the way it did with XRP holders. But now you've allowed the ETF to go through. Because to do this, like, I'm not saying that they can't sue now, but a lot of their arguments are going to really fall flat in a court of law. So this is going to be a problem for them, no doubt about it, because it kind of shows that they kind of look at Ethereum as not a security. And the problem they'll have here from this is a lot of blockchains can say that they're similar to Ethereum. So now it's like, even when you're trying to go with other arguments, it's like, well, you've let Ethereum go through and, you know, our blockchain is similar to Ethereum. So what's the problem here? So they really have like put themselves in a difficult position. But again, I do not think this is anything in terms of, like Gary Gensler, like he's a puppet, basically. The government tell him what to do and he just follows the orders. He's just the face of the SEC, but he's not the leader. He has to get told what to do and he follows the orders. And that's why this is such a big flip-flop, because it's the politicians now realizing, oh, this is actually going to affect us getting back in office. Like, this is actually a bigger deal than we realized. We need to start looking like we're actually for crypto. That's going to actually help our party move forward and get votes. That's all this is. It's a political play. So seeing that happen, I think is very telling. And so this might be a thing of, even if Gary Gensler didn't want to approve an XRP ETF, his hands might be tied, right? Because he might go back and say, hey, you know, don't really want to approve this XRP ETF. You know, they really embarrassed us in the court and whatnot. But they might be like, look, you've just got to swallow your pride here. Like, you know, you're not going to about to destroy our whole, you know, party and our election just because you've got a bit of sour grapes because you lost the lawsuit. You know, you got to suck it up, basically, you know? So it could be a thing of Gary Gensler, even though he wouldn't want to approve it, he really just hasn't got a choice. Like, I think that's a very real possibility here. So, do I think it's possible? Yeah, I really do think it's possible, to be honest with you, like, because I do see the shift. And as I say, if the Republicans do get in, at the moment, they're following a very pro-crypto campaign. If they genuinely do stick to that, well, you could get someone in the office who actually is just pro-crypto and the whole dynamic changes, right? It could be that they come in and start saying, right, like, let's really get on getting this regulation sorted. Like, we want to be pro crypto. We want to be one of the hubs for this space, for the crypto industry. We're already behind because all of the, you know, lawsuits that they've been doing, which has just been ridiculous. So let's really start building on this and getting this all sorted out. So that could be something that happens. So I think there's very real possibilities here in regards to an XRP ETF coming. I've always believed that there will be an XRP ETF. So to me, this is inevitable anyway. It's more just in terms of the time frame. Like, I've never known how soon it would be. Because even in terms of this Ethereum ETF, like, I'm surprised it's come through as soon as it has, because I saw that Wells notice. I'm like, well, they're clearly not going to approve the ETFs then because they're looking to sue them. But here we are, right? They've just completely changed and flip-flopped. So this makes me think, well, it's very possible that that could be the case for XRP then, right? So I don't know for sure. I really don't, but it's very possible is what I'm saying now. Like, everything has changed, right? Because of this whole election coming up, everything has changed. So I think it is a very real possibility. You know, we will see, time will tell, but it is a very real possibility. And that's exciting. You know, 2025 is not that far away. It might feel like it is, but it's really not that far away. And look, yes, it's not a thing where this is just going to be one instant price boomer, but we saw it with the Bitcoin ETF, right? When it got approved officially, I don't think it was really that much of an impact straight away. But we've seen what's happened since then, right? Bitcoin hit a complete new all-time high just from the ETF. And like, the trading volumes was like it was breaking records. So, you know, you can already see the impact that it's had on Bitcoin. I assume it will be the same for Ethereum. And I assume it will be the same for XRP if the XRP was to have an ETF. So it would be a huge thing, guys. It really would. So I hope this is the case. And, you know, I know Brad Garlinghouse has been looking at some tweets discussing the whole ETF stuff, and he's been liking some tweets. I just want to make this clear, guys. Like, this doesn't mean that this is all set in stone. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee because Brad Garlinghouse is liking tweets about an XRP ETF. He's just positive and wants this kind of stuff to happen, right? Like, if you're seeing, you know, your crypto that you created, or, well, Brad Garlinghouse didn't create XRP, but he's the CEO of Ripple, so obviously he's one of the stewards via the company Ripple. So if you've got this cryptocurrency that you're basically like pretty much the face of the brand of XRP, right? And you're seeing people talk positively about something happening that would be hugely beneficial for that crypto. Well, yeah, of course you're going to be liking tweets in support of stuff like that, because this is the kind of thing that you would want to see. So I don't think there's anything secret about this to take, guys. I don't think that this means, there's been any kind of secret meetings and the XRP ETF is already done and it's like just waiting to be, put out to the public. I don't think there's anything like that secretly going on. I think Brad Garlinghouse just wants to see that kind of progression, right? He's just excited to see the space, the industry move forward, which I completely understand, because XRP has already had such a hindrance for the last 2-3 years. So I'm sure this is the kind of stuff that would help them get back on track and, continue to drive value and liquidity to XRP. So again, I don't want people reading too much into that kind of stuff because, to me, that's completely innocent. There's nothing in that. But in terms of, could this happen? Yeah, I do think this is a very real possibility. So time will tell. But I think if they're in a position to try and do this, this is definitely the time because, the whole mentality around crypto from a political standpoint, it's changing. And that's a good thing because we needed that, right? So hopefully it is a change for good. It's not just a temporary thing to appease people and just to try and get the votes that they need. And if that is the case, I think we'll be seeing a lot of changes now within the crypto industry because, they're going to start being more pro crypto and start doing things to actually help the industry rather than stifle it. So this could be massive, and I definitely think that could lead to an ETF next year. So we'll see, but fingers crossed. But definitely exciting. But what do you guys think? An XRP ETF to be launched in 2025? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.